All right, welcome back to another episode of Wicked New England. Got an interesting one for you tonight. So I got my co-host there.
John.
Anthony.
I think they forgot their names, guys. I'm not sure. All right,
It's
so
been a long
tonight
night.
we're going to talk about final meals. So I looked up what some of the stranger ones were over the years. Stop cheating. I told them not to look at the list because I want them to really react impartially. Okay? And then at the end, I told them to think about a little bit like what their final meal would be. So we'll talk about that too, so you get our kind of point of view on it. But anyway, let's start cranking down the list. These are in no order. I didn't put them in chronological or anything like that. So kind of bouncing around as far as the years go. But we'll start out with Timothy McVeigh. Maybe you know, maybe you don't. Timothy McVeigh was the main suspect in the Oklahoma bombing. Was charged for that and executed by lethal injection. So his final last meal was 2 pints of mint chocolate chip ice cream. What do you guys think about that? Ice cream as the last meal. I feel like it's a waste in a way because I feel like there's so many other things I would want to eat. But I don't know if that was like your favorite thing in life. Maybe that's just that one thing you want to remember on your taste buds before you fucking head out.
I guess. I personally wouldn't go for that. I like hot meals.
Okay, so hot meals for John. Don't tell us what you're ordering.
I'm not going to tell you, but I
don't
will
want to
say
know.
it's not a dessert. I feel like I'm more of a savory type person.
Now keep in mind as you're letting it soak in, you can have a dessert too.
That's fine.
In this type of situation, you can have your cake and eat it too, right? All right. So, any other thoughts on that one, Anthony? Before I keep moving.
Not really. I'm
All
just surprised that somebody would actually consider a couple of scoops of ice cream a meal.
Not scoops, 2 pints.
2 pints.
We're talking 2 containers. That is a lot of ice cream.
That's a lot of ice
I
cream.
don't think I'd be able to get.
I don't think I'd be able to. No.
So,
I just don't.
keep in mind though, a pint is the small container. So usually, if we get ice cream on a Friday night on a whim, I don't eat a lot of ice cream, but I'll probably sit down and eat a pint.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I buy the Ben and Jerry's pint of the gooey gooey or whatever it is, and you kill the whole thing.
It's the second pint that I'm wondering how the hell do you get
that's
that
when
down.
you wonder how do you squeeze it in, right? But I guess if you're being executed, you don't worry about what's coming out the other end.
That's fair. That's fair.
Somebody else is cleaning it up, right? All right.
Very
So
true.
moving on to the next one. This guy had a pretty healthy appetite, but let's start out with the name. So it's John Wayne Gacy, very famous serial killer. They've depicted him in multiple movies, documentaries, you name it, books. Liked to paint up his face as a clown. He actually did children's parties part-time as part of his job, which makes it creepy enough. Why doesn't people like clowns? But so he had deep fried shrimp, a bucket of KFC, French fries, and a full pound of strawberries. Still a pretty healthy meal. That's a lot to get through. I mean, I understand he was a bigger man, but I mean, even still, that's a lot of food.
My first thought is, how the hell did he do it?
He was big.
He was a big guy.
We're talking healthy appetite.
I know he's a big
I
guy.
think John Wayne Gacy was probably around 300 pounds. Gotta be.
However,
Big dude.
how do you do that and then not?
So shrimp
even
doesn't
know.
take up a lot of room. The bucket of chicken is where we're kind of stalling, and then all that extra starch from the French fries.
That's a lot of grease in the chicken and the fries.
Just let's think about how many strawberries are in a pound. You know what I mean? I mean, does a quart does a quart of strawberries weigh more than a pound, or is that under a pound?
I mean,
even if they're big strawberries, a full quart is still not that heavy.
No.
Which leads me to believe that it's probably 2 quarts of strawberries. That's a lot of strawberries.
even still, I mean, the strawberries on top of everything else.
You gotta have the dessert. It's like they say, there's
I
always
think the
room
question
for
that
Jell-O,
we might be
right?
looking at this a little off is how long did he have to eat it?
Well, that's his last meal. I imagine they let him sit down and do his thing.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So last night on Earth, they know they're going to kill you. The least they can let you do is sit down and enjoy your food.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think there's really necessarily a time limit to it, but still a little weird. Moving on to the next one. So this was one that actually did not get eaten, which kind of makes me sad because how do you leave a steak? But steak and eggs, and that was for Ted Bundy. So he refused to choose a last meal, so they chose for him. It was in Florida where he was executed. They chose steak and eggs for him as that's the standard meal in Florida for like a last meal, unless you formally give a request for something different, which I found out through reading, and I wasn't aware of that. But he actually did not touch it, so he didn't eat his last meal. I think he went like the last 2 days without eating. Not so much a hunger strike, but maybe he just didn't care anymore. I don't know.
Maybe.
Would you want to go out on an empty stomach? I guess that's the
No.
question with this one. Would you take that chance for a last meal, or would you say, eh?
Speaking for myself, I don't think that I would want to go out with nothing. You know, I want that. I would
Yeah.
want.
I feel like
that
you're more
last meal.
content when
Yeah.
when you're full, and I mean, you know you're gonna die anyway. Your chances are so slim. You know, it's not like you got every killer in like history. It's like, oh, the governor's gonna call. Yeah, the governor don't call, but maybe he has once or twice. I don't know, but it's definitely something rare. You know. How about you? You want to go out full or you want to go out empty?
Honestly, I think I'd probably take advantage of a free meal.
Yeah, I would too.
Especially if it's, you know what, whether I was guilty or not, if this is what's going to be and you fine, you guys are flipping the bill for it, this is what I'm going to have.
You know,
You know?
and my whole thoughts on the whole last meal process in general is they realize you screwed up, right? We're killing you. We know that. We're executing you. We know you screwed up. You know you screwed up. But we'll at least let you go out with a little bit of normalcy before we do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to me, that's what the whole last meal thing is, right? It's your chance to get your favorite food or whatever. Something to kind of keep you a little bit at peace before you face your final hour, if you will. You know what I mean? That's your darkest time you're ever going to experience. You know, at least you can do is be like, oh man, that enchilada was great. You know, going out.
That mint chocolate chip ice cream, man.
Well, he was a psychopath, so there was that. Moving on to H.H. Holmes, first serial killer in the U.S.
Yes.
Okay, so first in the U.S., which I don't know all the facts involving him, but so anyway, his final meal was boiled eggs, toasted coffee, pretty basic breakfast. So if it was me in this situation, though, I don't like yolk. So when I boil eggs, I actually remove the yolks. Makes me wonder if he liked his yolks too.
Probably did. If he's asking for boiled eggs, I would assume so.
You never
Unless
know.
maybe not.
Do you guys like boiled eggs?
I do.
How about you?
I don't.
Okay. How do you take your boiled eggs? Like, so I take out the yolks and I sprinkle a little bit of salt and pepper on the whites.
See, I like a soft boiled egg. Have a little salt on there. That's what I like.
But you eat the yolk.
I do.
Get out of my house. All right.
I'm
Sorry.
staying.
Damn it. I ain't leaving. Moving on to the next one. Ronnie Lee Gardner. So this guy here is my favorite by far, and he also influences what my last meal would be in some way. Okay? Steak, lobster, apple pie, vanilla ice cream, soda, and he requested to watch the whole Lord of the Rings series before being executed. My man. Okay?
That's a good one.
So, yeah. You know, out of everybody on this list, and I'm sure he's probably not the only one to request a movie along the way. You know, I'm sure if we researched all of them, I'm sure somebody else has got to have tried this. But just the fact that he thought about some entertainment while he was enjoying his last meal tells me that man was pretty smart. You know what I mean? There was no fool. Did something stupid. I believe it was robbery and murder is what he ended up being executed for. But not an idiot. I mean, if I'm going to go out and they're giving me a request of anything I want, hell yeah, I'm going to include a movie too. So what's your guys' standpoint on this one?
Well, let me ask.
Yeah, I'm going.
Theatrical or extended edition?
Extended, of course, John. No, it doesn't actually specify in the article if
Oh, so I would
he
assume
requested a theatrical or not.
Okay.
But I think it was pretty close in time to when Return of the King finally came out. So it probably was theatrical
Okay.
versions, if I had to guess. Actually, you know what? I don't think it was, because now that I'm remembering it in the article, they mentioned it being a 16-hour affair. Could have included The Hobbit. Maybe. I don't know. I'd have to look up the
Maybe.
dates to see. But yeah, it said it was 16 hours. Maybe he just took a break in between, because I mean, after eating that much food, you probably got to pass something here or there. Didn't want to miss the movie. But
Yeah, you have to pause it. I mean,
you got to
it's a
pause
home
it.
watch.
Yeah, you know. Especially with your only chance.
Definitely take an opportunity. I mean, if you're gonna sit back and you're gonna be going out, might as well get a little entertainment in there as well.
I guess it should be worth noting before we get into our final meals. I don't think there's a single state out there that during this process allows you to have alcohol, unfortunately. So some of our favorite whiskeys will not be making an appearance in our final meal, even though we do love our whiskeys, if you will. But I'm just going to go ahead and throw mine out there. You guys can kind of judge me if you will. It's okay. My final meal, it's honestly pretty simple. I think I'd want a 6-pack of Coke, regular Coke, not diet, a large sausage and pepperoni pizza, and I'd like to watch Good Will Hunting one more time while I eat that, and that's it. A little bit of normalcy, you know, it's a movie, my favorite movie, you know what I mean? 6-pack of Coke, pizza, reminds you of movie night, you know, when you're younger. Yeah, that's it for me, really simple. Wouldn't cost the state much.
I respect that.
Rental
That's actually-
fee, a $10 pizza and a 6-pack of Coke, come on.
That's a solid
Yeah,
choice.
It's gonna fill you up. A whole large, I mean, yeah. Probably get Domino's, just because I don't need nothing.
Saving money.
I don't need nothing bougie. I mean, you know, there's nothing wrong with Domino's, folks. Okay, it's good pizza.
Oh, now it's my turn?
Unless you want to.
No,
So okay. How about a rating here? Like scale of 1 to 10. 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest. Where would you rate that final meal?
Your final meal, I would personally rate that probably a 7.5.
Yeah,
7.5.
solid.
yeah, definitely 7.5.
It's got a little bit of nostalgia in it.
Yeah.
Bit of favorite food. All right, Anthony, why don't
I
you
would
take us?
probably take a little bit of advantage of the situation. I would probably go for a nice Angus steak, something very good, cooked well, baked potato, maybe a vegetable in there, just regular salt and pepper and some butter for the potato. You know, I mean, if I could get away with it, maybe ask for a 6-pack of beer of my choosing, probably
Okay.
Coors.
So now you're going
if
back
I
again.
couldn't, If I couldn't get the beer, I'd probably get maybe a regular soda or something. I mean,
Yeah, you gotta have something.
if you gotta have something to drink, especially if you're drinking something with salt and pepper on it. It's kind of make you thirsty. So I mean, yeah, and would I probably take advantage of asking to watch a series or a movie or something? Absolutely. What I would watch, being on the fly, I can't think of anything right now. That would be something that, if given the option to, I would really think about it. If it's going to be one of the last films I wanted to see, I would probably go with something maybe a little bit more uplifting, or maybe a comedy at that point.
Happy Gilmore.
Oh, classic movie.
That would be. Okay, I don't want to say that would be a fun time.
Well,
You gotta get some laughs.
You
before
gotta get
go,
some
you know
laughs
what I mean?
before you go. I mean, come
So
on.
I guess what I will say about that, one thing that I love about a steak, right? It's even if you're like lower class, higher class, working class, you know what I mean? No matter like what station you are in life, unless you're like a vegetarian, whatever, I'm sorry. But a steak will always be considered a premium meal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A steak is never really a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? It's always like that good dinner. It carries over, and I think that's almost universal, which I love about it. So, without knowing exactly what movie you pick, I can't fully rate it, but I'm gonna put it up there. I'm gonna say about a 7. Say we could have gone to an 8, maybe, depending on the movie, but we'll leave it at a 7.
I agree at 7. 7 only because of the movie, but again, steak dinner. I mean,
You can't go wrong.
You can't go wrong.
with
You
steak
can't go wrong
dinner.
with steak,
Um,
unless you're a vegetarian, in which case, get out of my house.
Actually, you can go wrong if you like it well done.
Then
That's
get out
my
of my
opinion.
house. Then get out of my house.
That's my opinion on that. However, I understand some people really like their jerky, but for me,
Yeah, but if
medium
that's the
rare to
case,
rare.
I'm going to be getting me a bag of Jack Links. I'm not going to be taking a steak,
Yeah, right.
throwing
I'm
it
not
in the
gonna-
broiler till the thing don't move. You know what I
I'm
mean?
just trying to ease the audience.
I
Let them know that I don't hate you for getting.
So to quote
well done
Hank
rare.
Hill,
Yeah.
what do we do if they ask for it well done? We
Politely.
politely ask them to leave.
That's why I said medium, because
yeah.
I either take the steak medium or medium. I like to have a little bit of blood with that steak. You know, it goes down nice and smooth.
Here's my thoughts on steak. Now, since we're on the topic, let's just get it out in the open. If I go to a restaurant, I typically order it medium because I don't know what's in their kitchen. Okay? If I'm
Mhm.
cooking it at home, I'm usually medium rare to like the high end of rare, to be honest. I don't cook it blue, but I do like red. If I'm cooking it myself, I trust myself a lot more than I trust the guy at Applebee's, right? So if I go to a restaurant, which I don't usually order steak at Applebee's, generally Longhorn or something like that. But yeah, medium if I'm going to like a restaurant, because I don't know how long their meat's been. They like to use the word blooming. Okay, just because you sit it on the counter for 3 days and forget about it doesn't mean it's bloomed. That means it's probably got bacteria. So.
See, and when they flash, cook it, that gets
It gets the
most of-
bacteria, most of it.
Gets
Yeah.
most of it. Enough for me to survive. I'll take it rare, please. I do love myself a rare steak. I have been moving a little bit more towards medium rare
Okay.
lately, but I used to just go rare.
Okay, now I have to ask
Wilder.
another question. So I went out to eat with another couple.
Okay.
We went to Texas Roadhouse. I always order steak, so I got a steak. The boyfriend got a burger. He ordered his burger rare. What's your thoughts on ground beef and level of cooking? Now, so here's where I differ, I guess. When it comes to like a burger, it has to be at least medium to medium well. Pink is okay on a burger. Ground beef should not be red.
No.
That to me is a problem.
I am gonna throw
Maybe
myself.
I'm wrong.
I'm gonna throw myself under the bus. There was a cookout I had gone to, family cookout. I was probably about 6 years old, and I think a movie that I saw it on. I think it might have been one of Jim Carrey's first films, still, where he just had a burger and he had it rare from the package into the bun, and so I tried it. I had about 2 or 3 of those, just like that.
So, folks, 2 episodes ago we talked about cryptids and Wendigos in particular, and how one could become a Wendigo through becoming a cannibal. And I think eating raw ground beef is about as close as we want to go to being a cannibal. So I'm just going to let you simmer on that. And if he seems different over the next few episodes, I know what's going on. Okay?
I haven't done it since.
So, here's where you guys might not care for me too much.
Rare
but
burger guy coming up.
medium rare. I like it medium rare.
No,
However,
medium rare is
Medium rare is
okay.
okay.
However,
I mean, Jimmy Buffett said it best.
the best burger I've ever had, I still have dreams about it to this day. Okay? I went to a cookout. The guy's chefing it up. He doesn't ask how you want your burger. You take his burger, or you don't have a burger. I have his burger. That thing was damn near rare. It was the best burger I've ever had in my life.
There's nothing wrong with it.
I order medium rare, but if the unnamed individual is cooking, if he told me to eat that ground beef as is, I would do it. That's how much I trust him. So if I start acting strange
Let
in
me
the next few
Let me
episodes-
interject once more and just say it depends where they bought the ground beef.
I know he's getting it from a reliable source
Because if you're getting your ground beef from the
You know.
little kangaroo roll, I call it kangaroo because I'm pretty sure it's kangaroo meat. None of us really know what's in that opaque tube at Walmart, right? Where it just says ground beef.
oh,
I call that kangaroo meat because we just don't know. Now, I'm not saying I don't buy the kangaroo meat occasionally, but in the back of my mind, I'm always telling myself that's not really from a cow. Kangaroo meat. All right.
Anyway,
Moving on.
Moving on,
So we
John.
both rate you a 7. What'd you? What's the last meal?
so you guys had me thinking with. I didn't realize that an option was to watch something, but I already know what I would watch. So here's my meal: Old Timers breakfast from Cracker Barrel with their sweet iced tea.
Now, does the old timers breakfast come with biscuits and gravy on the side?
It does, but I would also want to add their hash browns.
Okay.
Their shredded hash browns.
Just can't leave the biscuits and
That's
gravy.
if you don't have biscuits and gravy, you're doing it wrong. Okay, it's fantastic.
That is what I'm having for breakfast tomorrow morning.
Biscuits and gravy are
Mm.
fantastic, and that's why you need it. It's the old timer special. You get your eggs with I would get scrambled eggs with American cheese, their shredded hash browns, bacon, sausage gravy and biscuits. Extra biscuits if they're provided, you know.
I think that could be doable.
I'm
I mean,
happy
extra
with that.
biscuits isn't a big stretch, you know.
Sweet iced tea. If we're talking dessert, throw me a slice of that Tres Leche cake. Love that. And I want to be watching How I Met Your Mother right before I kick the bucket.
Okay. I can respect that.
Specifically season 9, which might anger some people. However, I love the nostalgia as you watch that season, so that's what I want.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I rate that. I'm gonna give it an 8 because I feel like you had the foresight to ask for a whole series or a season of TV show, which got you more hours of
Oh yeah,
entertainment.
hell yeah.
So therefore, eclipsed my own. Like I still think my meal as a whole, I think personally, is better. But I'm a
I would
pizza.
hope so.
but I'm a pizza guy. You gotta understand. So for me, pizza might as well be a delicacy. I could eat it every night of the week and really not care.
I would
But-
really hope that you would enjoy your last meal better than mine. Like,
Well, I got a jar of pickles, and I think pickles taste like shit. So it wasn't very good. Why'd you order it? But
well, I ordered 2 pints of ice cream because that other guy did.
right? You got mint chips, so I got Rocky Road.
I would probably rate that as being a 9. Because that sounds very, very delicious. Definitely gives you a little bit longer of a time frame to watch TV. The only thing I think I took a point off for would be you had me right up until you said American cheese.
That's fair.
Now,
That's kind of where I
I
took
like
the
that.
point off.
I know you're not
Other
a
than
big
that,
fan
I
of cheese.
love the whole rest of the meal.
What's your standpoint on cheesecake?
I love cheesecake.
Oh, good.
I
Stay
do
with
love
that.
cheesecake.
Do you
Okay.
like cheesecake? Okay.
Of course.
What's your favorite type of cheesecake? We're gonna close with this. This is our final thought.
Here's where you might not
Ultimate
like
dessert.
Not ultimate dessert. That's be cheesecake.
me. OG cheesecake is my
But
favorite.
we'll bring that one back.
I love just a regular cheesecake. That
New
is
York,
my
just
favorite.
regular New York cheesecake.
Regular New York cheesecake.
Graham cracker crust.
Of course.
Okay.
Just a regular
Strawberry topping or no?
just cheesecake. That, I think it's, to be fair, I think it's a little bit of nostalgia. Because I
Okay.
still remember that first bite I ever took of cheesecake, thinking to myself, wow, that's a cake,
Okay.
you know?
Anthony?
I would say, with my experience from like the Cheesecake Factory,
That's where I'm going.
I've had a couple of different cheesecakes from there, but I think I'm gonna go with the classic strawberry topping.
Okay. So we got 2 New
Strawberry
Yorks,
with
one
cream.
with strawberry, one without. And my favorite was also from the Cheesecake Factory. Unless somebody can make it better for me, in which case I'll love yours. So anybody who'd like to bake for me, please slide into the DMs, as they say. Absolutely hook me up. But salted caramel cheesecake from Cheesecake Factory would have to be
All
my
right.
favorite. First time I tried that one, like before that, all I had was New York. So that's my comparison. And then I went from that to the salted caramel at Cheesecake Factory, and it blew my freaking mind.
I think I'm gonna have to try that one. That actually
That
sounds
really
tasty.
good.
One year for my birthday, I actually requested that was my cake. I
Yeah.
bought the whole one, which is expensive,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I was okay with that being my present too. So I mean, you know, I'm not that, you know, but that cheesecake was great. I had at least, especially the year I had it for my birthday cake, I had at least 3 slices. So I mean, obviously I was dead inside after, but it was so good, so good, folks.
You might have been dead
So-
inside, but you must have felt the most alive you've ever felt, too.
So on that, folks, we're going to close this one out. We'll have some more episodes like this in the future too. Just stupid things that cross our minds, if you will. I thought this was a good one to just kind of shoot the proverbial shit on. So YouTube police, don't get me for swearing. But I didn't do it. I didn't do it. But that's it from us, guys. So we'll catch you on the next one. I'm Andrew.
I'm Anthony.
I'm John.
Have
All
a
right.
good night, guys.
Catch you guys later.
Bye, guys.